Welcome, astrology lovers. We have a very special live broadcast for you today. There is so much excitement in the air because we have just 2 more days, today and tomorrow, before we close enrollment for Donna's new class, Decode Your Cosmic Blueprint, How to Read a Chart for Yourself and Others. And so there's so much excitement happening both within the Astrology Hub team internally and also within the community of new students that is already gathering together. So we wanted to come on and say hello to all of you and answer any questions that you might have. We've also brought on 2 of Donna's former students, so you can hear directly from them what their experience of working with Donna has been, how they're incorporating astrology into their work, into their lives, and what the biggest things that they got, or the biggest things they received from working with Donna. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Amanda Walsh. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Astrology Hub. And again, I'm here with professional astrologer Donna Woodwell, also known lovingly as Professor McGonagall or Hermione from Harry Potter. Basically, she creates an environment where we all get to feel like we're at Hogwarts. And so we're here today with 2 of her former students. We have, let's see, hold on one second. We have pharmacist and health practitioner Hilary Spiteri from Aquafortis Astrology. She began studying astrology in 2012 and realized it could have a profound impact on her healing practice. She now blends her knowledge of health and astrology into her business. So welcome, Hilary. It's great to have you here. And we're also joined by Denise Weinberg, who teaches art and music at the Montessori School of Syracuse. She's involved in many types of energy work and spiritual counseling, and she's been studying astrology for a little over a year. So let's start with you, Donna. Can you tell us, and I want to say to all of you out there, we're here to answer your questions. We will stay on as long as we need to until all of your questions are answered. So if you're on the fence about whether or not you'd like to join Decode Your Cosmic Blueprint, please just ask whatever you need to ask. And we want to make sure that you have all the information that you need to make the best decision for you. So we're here, just put it in the chat and we will just answer them all as they come in. And you can also ask Hilary and Denise questions as well. Okay. One more question. This is for you in the audience. How many of you have signed up already? And I want to say welcome to those of you who are already a part of Decode Your Cosmic Blueprint. It's so exciting to have you. And if you haven't already joined the private Facebook group for Decode Your Cosmic Blueprint, please do so because there is so much incredible energy in there right now. And it's already Donna showering us with resources and things that we can look at. What was the newsletter that you told us to subscribe to? Earth Sky?
Oh, earthsky.org.
Yes, I got an email today about the alignment with the Pleiades and the moon and everything. I was like, oh, this is so cool. So there's so many resources Donna is already letting us know about, which is so much fun. So just in the chat, let us know if you've already signed up. I'd love to say welcome to you. All right. And Donna.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us how you met Denise and Hilary.
Oh, it's one of the best things about teaching, especially for Astrology Hub, is you get to meet the most amazing people from all over the world. I think that law of attraction is very true. What you put out there into the world is what you attract back. And so we trend to attract these amazing, heart-centered people who also love the sky. So I get, as a teacher, to meet amazing students like Hilary and Denise. And I'm really glad that they want to talk about their experiences because I think it always helps to have someone who's been there and we can put ourselves in their shoes through their stories.
Absolutely. All right. And one question that just came in already from Kalenika is she's wondering about the Facebook group. So what I would say is please just email support@astrologyhub.com. She said she tried to get in, hasn't been able to get into the private group yet. So just email us and we'll take care of you. All right. Okay, so my first questions for you, let's start with Hilary. I'd love to hear your journey with astrology. What got you interested in astrology? You said you've been studying since 2012. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey to finding astrology?
How I found astrology, or actually astrology found me.
Exactly.
So I had a partner at the time, and she was reading a bit astrology. And so it was St. Valentine's Day, and I decided to gift her some books. It was Arroyo books. And then she was so enthusiastic about it that I started reading them myself. And then I actually said, okay, fine, I want to be serious about it. And I studied with the Faculty of Astrology.
What questions was it answering for you, or what insights was it giving you?
Well, I had always a problem with my studies as a scientist, that everything was seen in bits and pieces. Whereas I knew, because I was interested even in archaeology and whatever, all things, that everything was connected, and there was the theory of signatures. So that was astrology, just sort of brought it a little bit together. And it gave it a sense, although the sense I really met it then eventually when I met Donna, not when I started studying astrology.
And so you have a scientific background as a pharmacist, obviously,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So do those two marry well, or do you find that there's conflict between the two perspectives?
For me, they do marry well. I mean, it's difficult when you try to explain it to people, because for many, at least my colleagues ex-pharmacists, say, what astrology, sort of, what the heck are you saying? But if you go backwards in time, there was no division between the plants, between crystals, between whatever. They had always a unifying theory behind them, and that was astrology, basically. So for me, it actually was finding home to what I thought it was true. So, yeah.
Wow, beautiful. So you're saying that astrology is almost like the behind the scenes binding glue for all of it.
It's a web. It's that's called cosmic web, in a way, that for me, all the knowledge that I keep on studying, be it scientific or be it esoteric, they just fit in on this big web, and then they slowly weave in.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for that. That's awesome. I love hearing from people with that real scientific mind, and we have Adrian in the community, who's a surgeon too. And he's just talking about how it all just goes together, and that's beautiful. Okay. Thank you so much, Hillary.
Thank you.
Denise, can you tell us a little bit about your journey? Yours is more recent, right? And actually you're muted. So I think if we could get Stephanie or someone. Yeah,
I did. I fixed it.
Hey, good.
Hi. My journey is really quite different than Hillary's. I became interested in astrology through, I was gifted a solar return from a lovely sister that does them in our area. And when I read the return and all the different things, and I thought, what is this exactly? And how did she get this and spell this out? And then as the year went on, there were like things that she would say to watch out for that could happen. And down to, I mean, the beginning, it was like you could wind up on a journey, and then be careful because as part of the journey, there could be a delay because of the way the planet. And I'm thinking, okay, don't I wind up going to Japan? And at the end of the trip, our flight was delayed, and we were delayed like 14 hours. And I wanted to look at all the people and go, this is my fault. This is my chart. I'm sorry, all of you are delayed with me. However, the sister told me this was going to happen. So after that, it was like, okay, I need to study this because this is just too, you know what I mean? It was just that the part of it that was just so woo. It seemed a little bit at the beginning, I came to see wasn't woo-woo at all. And so I took a course someplace else, and I studied some basics of astrology, and got a little, my toe in the water. And at the same time, I was also studying shamanism with a shaman in our area and had a real interest in that. But I was starting to feel like all these things were like, I'm doing shamanism here and astrology here and energy healing here, and that nothing fit together. Like Hillary was saying, there's this cosmic web, but I wasn't aware of that. And so as I was scrolling through Facebook, synchronicity wise, doesn't this thing pop up saying shamanic astrology? Like, what is this for real? Like, how can this be for real? I'm just looking, I'm asking the question, these fit together, and there it is. And so I didn't know Donna at all. But so as soon as I saw that, I thought, well, this is too synchronistic for me to not get involved with this. And so that's kind of the long and the short of it. So I began, mostly my studies were really through the shamanic astrology course and then the apprenticeship with Donna. Yeah.
Fantastic. All right. So Denise, would you say that before you had this experience with your reading that you were a cynic, or that you just didn't think much about astrology?
I, at the time, previous years had been involved in a very fundamentalist view of looking at things religion-wise. And so astrology was kind of one of these. So that was, you just didn't do it because it just wasn't in the Bible. Basically, like that.
We're going to come back to that because
I'm just saying. I'm not saying that it's not or is. I'm just saying that was what.
I want to come back to your experience of how you've worked through that. But let's hold on for a sec. Yeah. I want to answer a couple questions that are coming in already. Okay. So I don't know what this person's name is. Jay in the Zoom. Hi, Amanda and Donna. I've been following astrology for a decade and studying for over 5 years. I am fluent with the basic concepts and now would like to start a professional practice starting with certification. Could the Decode Your Cosmic Blueprint course act as a review and preparatory course for the certification test? In other words, will I be completely prepared to take the certification test upon completion of your course? Thank you so much. Donna, I'm going to let you answer that one.
That is an excellent question. There is not one certification course. There are like 5 or 6 or 7, and they all have different parameters. So through this course, you will get a set of guidelines on what they are, what your options are, which things you'll have to study for each one. And so some of them you will need to do a few extra things, like if you want to take one of the math-based ones, you'll need to learn how to do the math for charts. But we will cover that all at the end of the course. I actually have one student who's sitting her exams in at UAC in May. So we're actually using this course for the prep for those exams.
Okay, thank you so much, Donna. And then we have a couple other questions. Kitty says, I very, very, very much want to take Donna's course. I just can't pay now. Do you think you guys will offer this class again? Kitty, we probably will offer it again. It is not on the calendar for this year yet, but the way that we do our Astrology Hub planning is we plan the first 6 months and then we plan the final 6 months. So we're in the process of planning the final 6 months of this year right now. So depending on how this class goes, maybe we'll offer it again in 2018. I'd say the odds are very high that it'll be offered again in 2019. However, what I'd like to say to you is please email us at support@astrologyhub.com. We do have a limited number of partial scholarships available, so you can apply for a partial scholarship. So just email us there and get the process going, and maybe we can get you in that way. If not, then you can wait until the next time that we offer it. Again, the response to it has been so overwhelmingly positive already that I can't see us not offering it again, at least sometime within the next year. All right, I hope that helps. Okay, so my next question to our friends here, our guests, how did you, why did you decide to study with Donna? So it sounds like, Denise, for you, it was the shamanic astrology was your first experience, your first class with Donna, and you pretty much told us how, but what was it about Donna that was the most attractive to you at the time, and that made you say, yes, I want to study with her?
At the beginning, I didn't know who Donna was because I was more attracted to the fact that we're doing shamanic astrology. But by the second class, I was like enamored with Donna. The thing that I was most enamored with was that it was like Donna was an embodiment of these planets, and these planets embodied Donna. It was like this relationship that was so tight that she wasn't talking about the words about the planets. It wasn't like, okay, this is Uranus, and this is what Uranus does, and this is the way Uranus acts, and this is the way that this is, and this is how it aspects this, and this is what we learned about Uranus as like this being and this energy that we could understand. And Uranus probably isn't the best example I could use. So let's say Mars. So we learned about Mars and what Mars likes and the things that Mars doesn't like, and about altars and about just all kinds of things. And so it was this multidimensional class for me, and for something, it touched my heart, as well as me learning something with my brain. And a teacher that's able to touch all of those learning centers that you're not even seeing in person is an extraordinary teacher. And I just couldn't wait for each class. And the handouts were impeccable. I mean, I still look through them. What was the thing about the moon? And everything that we received from that class was such, it felt like there was no stone left unturned. I like Donna has a great sense of humor. She's really quirky in a really fun way. You could see with the hat on, and it wouldn't be unlike Donna to come to class showing up like that or some other way. So I was so taken in by her learning style, but also it really brought me into this relationship with the planets that I didn't even know I could have a relationship with up until meeting Donna. So
yeah, as you
changed my life, really.
Awesome. Yeah. As you were speaking, I'm thinking, gosh, you're in a real relationship now with the universe, which
yes,
is something that is so unexpected, I think, for so many people, especially you. Astrology came into your life a year ago. That's incredible.
Yeah, it is pretty amazing to know that I'm not alone. Yeah. I mean, and really understanding at the deepest level of my heart that I have this relationship, and not just with planets, but just with the universe itself. But to see it in Donna embodied there was something. It wasn't like, well, I have it and you don't. It was like, and here's how I got there. And so those stories, really personal stories about what her journey was and how she came into this understanding. So it was like, it wasn't just for Donna, or not just for Amanda, or not just for Hillary. It's for all of us. And that's, I think, embodied kind of Astrology Hub, I think, is very much like that as well. So I think this course will be very similar.
And that's the thing for us. Yeah. Is we imagine a world where everyone feels that connected to the universe, to each other, to themselves. And we see that as a very beautiful world. So the mission to make that available to people is so core and central to what we do at Astrology Hub. And Donna, yes, is this embodiment of it, this role model of it. It's hard to move towards something when you can't see it. But when you see it in Donna, it makes it easier to say, oh, I could do that too. And of course, the way that she teaches with her inclusive style makes that really real for all of us. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, Denise. Okay. Hillary, how about you? So tell us how you decided to work with Donna. What was your first course with her? And then what made you say yes? What attracted you?
Can I blame it on Neptune?
Yes, of course.
Well, it was a kind of synchronicity. I was in a huge Neptune transit, and I wasn't understanding anything about my life. So everything that was on the fringes that takes you out of this world was sort of calling more than in this world. So when I saw shamanic astrology, and I said, what could be that? And I was reading the information, the description, and I said, oh, this could be an answer to what I was, the uncomfortable feeling I had with astrology at that time. Because I did study astrology, but it wasn't answering to my needs and to the needs of my clients. I didn't want astrology to be theoretical. I wanted astrology to be felt and down to earth, to practice it on earth, not just looking at the stars. So when I said shamanic astrology, and I said, okay, could give it a try. And And it was the best thing I ever did, because then I started a journey that I wasn't aware of at the time, because it was all fog and nothing else. But Donna has helped me bring really astrology in my daily practice. I never miss the day, wherever, even if I'm traveling or having to wake up very early, the daily meditations. And I carry the crystal linked to the planet every day. It has become part of my spiritual practice. That was the shamanic astrology part of it. And then I went through the shamanic apprenticeship course, and then even this form of the demystifying astrology one. And that was a huge turning point as well.
Yeah. Well, and just for all of you out there who are considering joining Decode Your Cosmic Blueprint, and you're saying, what is this shamanic astrology thing? Because that sounds really interesting. We will be offering a special offer to those of you students at the end of Decode Your Cosmic Blueprint. And Decode Your Cosmic Blueprint is a prerequisite for any of you who want to then journey into Shamanic Astrology 2, which we will be offering soon. And Shamanic Astrology 2 is where you're going to start to go into astrological magic and some other things. Donna, do you want to tell everybody about Shamanic Astrology 2 since we're on the topic?
I have my hat on for this, right?
Yes.
Okay. So astrological magic is taking a felt understanding of the planets all the way down into your body and your bones, and marrying it with a technology of making a chart and understanding how to read the chart. Throughout the Middle Ages, and even before that, they made all kinds of recipes to be able to use the technology of astrology to improve your life, meaning how you use it to interpret dreams, how you use it to make talismans, how you make altars around your house, all the kinds of ways you can concrete bring planets and cosmic energy into your day-to-day life to do things like, find the perfect job and the perfect day to get married, or find the love of your life. All of those things become possible with these two pieces of the puzzle.
All right. So again, Decode Your Cosmic Blueprint is going to be prerequisite for Shamanic Astrology 2. Also, students of Decode Your Cosmic Blueprint will get a special offer to join Shamanic Astrology at a special price at the end of the class. So if you're interested in that, that is a path that you'll be able to go down with this foundation and with these fundamentals in place. Okay, Jerry, great question. Jerry asked, do you provide recordings if you cannot be there for the live sessions? Absolutely, positively, yes, we do. We are working with people all around the globe. We know that it is literally impossible to find a time that works for everybody. So we record everything. You'll have access to those recordings in a downloadable format. So if you want to download them and own them on your computer forever, you can, or you can just tune into the membership portal where they live. So you'll either be able to access them and or download them. You'll also get every single session in an audio only format. So if you're like me and you need to be able to listen to things on the go, on your walk, on your run, in the car, picking up the kids, whatever it is, you'll have it in audio format. You'll also have all the transcripts. So the transcripts, if you want to go through and highlight and look for something she said, easily, you will have the transcript versions as well. So the recordings, so the sessions are happening on Sundays and Wednesdays. Sundays is the teaching day, and then Wednesday is the practice session day. The recordings for all of those will be available within 24 hours of the live broadcast. So they're big, huge files. We do our best to get them up as quick as possible, but the downloading and uploading time can take quite a bit of time, but we get them up within 24 hours. So you'll have access to those. Okay. Let's see. We have Julie asked, what is Donna's take on the Stellarium app for the phone? Love the Earth Sky app.
What is my take for it on the phone? I plugged it in at one point in time, but since I really like mine on a gigantic television set, most of the time I just take my computer and plug it into the TV so I can turn the TV into a planetarium. I know that sounds really astro-geeky, but that's what I do with it. I'm sure that the Stellarium folks are great, so I'm sure their app on the phone is equally great.
Well, I put it on my phone. I haven't had enough time to really play with it yet, but it's on my phone. It was easy to download, easy to find. So, okay. Lisa asks, on the application for the scholarship, the decision is expected on Friday, which is next Friday. Or, yeah. I'm sorry. This Friday, after Thursday's deadline to join the course. If turned down, can one still purchase the course on Friday and use the IC members discount? Lisa, that's a fantastic question that I actually don't know the answer to. We're going to have to bring that internally. I would imagine that, yes, we would make that available to you. So let us get back to you on that. Okay. But I don't see why we wouldn't give you that opportunity to let you do that. So, okay. All right. Let me ask Denise and Hillary a question now. Okay. So, Denise, how are you using what you learned in class with Donna in your work today? So just to back up a sec, if you missed the introduction, Denise is a Montessori art and music teacher, but also you do some spiritual counseling and energy work and things like that as well. So can you tell us how you're incorporating astrology into your healing practices and your teaching?
I haven't found, in terms of bringing it into the classroom, obviously, because I'm not a subject teacher, in terms of art and stuff, like when it's interesting how much the kids know about the planets in the Montessori school. And so it's been really neat to be able to talk to them in the manner of which having a relationship with them. And so a lot of times I'll find it was interesting because while I was in the middle of taking the class, I think that energy was so present that I actually had two little boys that one day just said, "We're going to make you a big mural of all the planets." And so they went and they worked on the stuff and they did this whole thing and they're like coloring it in and whatever. And they're like, "We just think that you'll really like this." And it was like, I didn't ask for it. It was just kind of this free thing. And so I think that sometimes the energy sort of, I don't even know, it was just really kind of a strange thing. They're really beautiful. The second and third grade boys and girls both, they just, so in that sense, I don't feel like I have used it as much in school other than, I guess, my own preparation in terms of what Hillary was saying about the meditations ahead of time and wanting to be an embodiment of, all of the things that are good and beautiful and not losing my temper and those kinds of things. And so, so from that perspective, it's more in my own personal life as a teacher before I go in and while I'm there, not necessarily in terms of any kind of teachability moments or using the planets in that way. In terms of healing work, though, and talking with people, it has been invaluable. There's so many times that I just find myself, because I do keep pretty close tabs on what's going, and everything is so updated on the Astrology Hub in general that I'm able to keep current with everything that is going on. And so often when people will be sharing, like the other day, people were just a lot of anger and stuff coming out of the school, and Donna had posted that beautiful article about the solar flare, that there was a hole in, I'm not going to be able to explain it well, but there was something in that the energy that if you're more sensitive, it was going to make you a little bit more sensitive. And so it helped me to not react to everything that was going around, and was able to pass it on to a number of people saying there's something that's going on in the atmosphere right now. And so let's just all breathe and we can get through it together. And so I think for me, a lot of it is just helping people to understand that sometimes it isn't something that's really personal to them or within their personalities or that kind of thing. But a lot of times there's things that are passing, and I don't know if I'm explaining it very well, but I just feel like I try to be as in tune with everything myself. So when other people, I sense that they're struggling with something, I'm able to bring that in, or I'm just learned a little bit about, I took an introductory course, so I have a pretty good sense of how Donna goes about reading a chart. So if people are asking about that, I'm able to go in and have them ask me a question, and then I'm able to go in and work with that really. But I'm going to take this course again to be able to continue to further, because I'm still new at this. And so I think that was a great introduction, the introductory course, but I would like to continue to understand it at a deeper level, so that I can be more helpful to people in my everyday life. I just know that it's helped me in my personal life. So how can that not help my work and my interactions with other people? So that's
Absolutely.
would be different than Hillary for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll get to Hillary next. I'll ask the same question. For those of you who are just popping on, we are doing a live Q&A session. So if you have questions about Decode Your Cosmic Blueprint, please put them in the chat and we will address them. Just to let you know, enrollment for this course does close tomorrow at midnight. The link to join us is in the chat. It's also in the description above the video. I'm going to take a question from the audience before we go to Hillary and find out how Hillary, as a pharmacist, is well, also, what's your the other work that you do? Hillary?
Yeah, I'm a healer, actually.
Oh, and
academically, I'm a pharmacist, but now I'm on my own as a professional healer. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so how
Hillary is an alchemist.
Yeah, an alchemist.
Beautiful. So how Hillary's incorporating what she's learned about astrology and from Donna into her work as well. So we'll get there in a sec, because one of the focuses or one of the bonuses of Decode Your Cosmic Blueprint is this instruction, ideas, inspiration, and real tangible practical advice for any of you out there who are healers, energy workers, nutritionists, practitioners, people that are working with people one-on-one, and you want to start incorporating astrology into your practice. We're going to be doing a live session, a webinar session with 3 women who are astrologers and also coaches or healers. And they're going to be talking to us about how they have incorporated it into their practice in very tangible and practical ways. So that is an emphasis. We know that a lot of you out there are in that category, and we want to give you the tools you need to be successful. Okay, so Julie says, during the course, will we be able to discuss our own charts so we can understand things like what it means if the ruler of your 10th house is in your first house when figuring out career? Donna, can you address that one?
On the one hand, this is not a course about reading all of the students' charts, because there are so many of you, we can't possibly read every single person's chart. However, one of the richest sources for examples are obviously going to be the people in the class. So we are devising a system for people to be able to submit their questions for our practice sessions so we can go over them. Now, we haven't worked out all the details yet, because this is our first time through for how many questions we're going to be answered during those practice sessions. So bear with us. If you really, really want a deep dive reading, I will probably put a special discount up for everyone in the class who needs a little extra help, so that you don't have to pay my full reading rates in order to get you that. However, we are going to have a system for being able to answer very specific questions like that. I mean, that could be a teachable question answer that the rest of the class could also benefit from.
Yeah, I mean, the idea is that you will be able to answer that question yourself. So that's the whole idea of Decode Your Cosmic Blueprint, is to empower you to be able to have those kinds of questions, look at your chart, and answer them. So that's really the goal here. Okay, so how do we sign up? That was from, I think, Lisa. The link to sign up is in the chat and in the description above this video. Also, if you are an Inner Circle member, please email support@astrologyhub.com and get a special link and your discount code, because Inner Circle members get $50 off the course. So if you don't know what I'm talking about and you don't know if you're a member of the Inner Circle, you probably aren't. The Inner Circle is another program that we have. It's a membership program, a monthly membership program. Enrollment isn't open for that right now, unless when you join Decode Your Cosmic Blueprint, you'll also be given the opportunity to try it out for a month. So just click the link. It's all clearly there, and you'll be walked from screen to screen, and you'll understand what I'm talking about once you enroll. Okay. Do you credit CEs for healers?
Oh.
I would love to. I have a couple of master's degrees, and so if I can get some help with someone who works for an institution that actually accredits continuing education units, that's CEUs, please find me privately, because that would be amazing to be able to offer that from Astrology Hub courses.
Yes. Okay. That is a great suggestion too. Okay. Regina says, I love the shamanic connection mentioned earlier. How much of the course will be focusing on our personal connection both to the cosmos and nature on Earth, as opposed to reading charts?
Well, this is Decode Your Cosmic Blueprint. So this class is primarily about making sure when people come in, they can read a chart by the end of class. Mm-hmm. However, it is taught by me, and I talk to my planets all the time. So the second week of class, we will be doing a sort of mini crash course on the nature of shamanic astrology, because it's all about the planets. After that, we'll be moving into planet science and houses and how you can question a chart. There is a shamanic astrology course which is filled up with the planet meditations that they've been talking about, and another 9 hours of training on the planets. So I can only have 75 minutes to talk about planets here. So it's a taste, but this is as we talked about earlier, astrology has kind of left brain, right brain duality embedded into it, and the intuitive, heart-centered one is largely in shamanic astrology, where you're establishing that personal relationship. The more analytical one is the chart reading one. So, but I do try to ground it as much as I can in the felt experience, so that approach enables you to learn astrology faster. One of my students called it gestalting, but really bringing it into your body so you get fluent faster.
Donna, I feel like that's just part of who you are and how you teach, no matter what class it is. So it'd be hard for you to like dismember that part of yourself, no matter what. Okay. Anne asks, on March 25th, we do change an hour in Belgium. Is the hour also changing in your time zone, or do I have to change the calculation? It's not changing here, so you're going to have to change the calculation. As far as I understand, I'm getting that right?
We already changed here.
Yeah. Okay. Julie says, so if the class isn't really set up to go over certain aspects on our own charts, are we going to go over fake charts so we can understand how to tell someone what their career will be, or if they will get married or have children? And will we be taught what it means for each planet to be in each house? Yes.
I mean, I've for one of the bonuses, I've actually filmed 12 different scenarios. So in essence, houses give you the opportunity to answer really grounded questions. So for example, you can look at the 10th house, which is the most elevated house in the sky, and ask questions about how what your reputation is or what your work in the world is, and you can answer all the questions from that point of view. So I filmed 12 snippets to keep turning the chart, so you get a whole range of practical questions. And as we've already learned, that one of the number one questions I get when I'm teaching online is, Donna, please slow down. So I filmed them. That way you can like pause me, and you can like look at the chart in your hand, and then you can work it out in your own time frame. So those are already filmed. We will be taking more of those kinds of examples, especially towards the end of the class when you have all the pieces. We'll take live ones that we'll do in our practice sessions. And then there's 2 full weeks of doing just that. So I think we got you covered with a lot of concrete examples. I'm going to be walking you through the planets, the signs, the houses, the aspects, where they all come from, and how all the pieces then fit together in order to be able to create a reading that's actually fluent, because you really understand it in a different way. One thing I need to say here, I think the hardest thing to explain to people who've just been studying, astrology on their own here is how much they will walk away and say, why did nobody tell me that when I learned it the first time? Let the students speak to that, because they can do it better than I can.
Yeah, why don't you? Hillary or Denise, do either one of you want to address that? Was that your experience?
Yeah. I mean, I started with the Faculty of Astrology, and after starting with Donna, the Your Cosmic Blueprint previous incarnation, well, things started making sense and they clicked into place. I mean, it's one thing learning astrology bits and pieces, like when Denise said, this is Mars, what does it do? And this is the aspect. Another thing is learning the nature of the planet and going back to the basics and to the elements, which is basically, that's how astrology was created, on the elements. It was an experiential experience of the planets on Earth, the energy of them. And for me, it made utterly sense. So I didn't need to memorize tons of pages of aspects and planets and keywords. I just needed to understand what was their nature. If they were fire, if they were air, if they were water, if they moved around or they stubbornly stayed still or they wanted to move about. So, and you add them together, and then you have the characteristic of the planet. And then you have the house, which is like you have a big theater where you have everything plays in different places. And then you have the experts, it's how people interact together. And if you have those basics explained, how Donna explains it in simple words, as if you're reading a simple book, it's not a cookbook, it's your way you experience life, then astrology becomes part of life. It's not yes, you learn it with your mind, but it's something that you're experiencing.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful, beautiful. And you just said that so well. I can't wait to take that little clip, because we've been trying to say that in many, many different ways. But to hear from you and the way that you've actually been able to experience it with Donna is really helpful. Okay, go ahead. Did you want to say something else?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't study with I mean, it's just to give an importance to this course. I mean, as I didn't study, I studied with the Faculty of Astrology. I mean, it's one of the world-renowned schools. And certain things didn't make sense. They only made sense after I started studying with Donna. I mean, I don't need to say more to that. And I transitioned from modern to traditional. So that's I owe it to you, Donna.
You just needed Professor McGonagall. That's all. Yeah.
My experience was really similar in that the first course that I took, I honestly don't remember who the organization was, but it was preparing people for certification, like right off the bat. And I barely knew what the planets were. So it was like I had all these big books and trying to look up stuff and doing all this. And honestly, I was in way, way over my head. So by the time I got to the end of it, I wasn't really I think what she's saying, it was not done in such a way that I could understand it, I guess, for someone who was newly into it. But immediately with studying with Donna, it wasn't like that. I didn't feel overwhelmed. It was step by step by step. And it was, I just understood it for someone who really had zero experience with it. I did not feel over my head, not necessarily, I'm talking about the course that was previous to this previous incarnation of this course. It just was really easy for me to follow, and it made sense. The pattern and the way Donna does the charts makes sense. And it wasn't, the beginning course wasn't taught that way. I just didn't understand the stuff until I was able to actually take the class with Donna. So just her teaching style. Yeah.
All right. So saving people a lot of frustration. Go ahead, Hillary.
Can I add something else? Just if someone is asking, oh, we're going all traditional here. Oh God, what's going to happen? Now, for all the modern astrologers there, well, it's not like reading an old book, taking a course with Donna. It's bringing the old scriptures to life. So it's, even when she explains the houses, if you're reading them on an old text, they have a meaning, and you say, "Oh God, what the heck are they saying?" Well, Donna then explains it in our daily living, because we have to bring, even if we're going to go for a traditional sense of astrology, we have to bring it to our modern way of living. So, and she does it perfectly. Yeah, that's what I wanted to add.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Donna, are you blushing a little bit?
Anyone that's ever sat and listened to people say nice things about them for an hour, it is a little uncomfortable.
Well, this is your time. This is your time. Okay. You've been waiting for this your whole life, pretty much.
I have. We were talking about that. There's that movie Tangled where in the end, when they're in the boat and they say, what happens when you've met your dream? I feel like this is a dream come true. And I'm so grateful to Astrology Hub and to all of my students and everybody who's made this moment possible.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, it's amazing to be a part of your dream. Suzanne says, I knew nothing at all when I started learning with Donna. It was all just confusing astro babble. And now I can pretty much hold my own making sense of a chart, and I was a lazy student. So that's awesome. That's really cool. Suzanne also says, and she's great at answering all your awkward questions, and I had lots of questions. Fantastic. Okay. Karen would like to know how much detail will be discussed about astrology software. I reviewed the website astrosoftware.com for the Cosmic Patterns professional astrological software, and the cost for the software types and reports is not straightforward to me. Thank you.
Okay, so this is a class where you can do all of the charts on astro.com. So there is zero expense for buying software for this course. But David Cochran, who is one of Astrology Hub's Inner Circle supporters, has generously donated a discount code for the professional grade software that if you're interested in pursuing, it's $50 off the mid-level product and $75 off the higher level product to give you a little extra bonus for getting you started for those of you who want to turn professional or like really serious hobbyist some days. So I don't remember off the top of my head exactly how much they'll be after the discount, but I think the mid-level one's around $250 after the discount, and the upper level one's about $475 after the discount, which is actually in a really good position for professional grade astrology software. They're all relatively similar on that front.
Well, and I would be open to, if there's a lot of questions and people are confused about the software, I'm sure David would come on and do a little session with you.
He would love to do that. He would love to.
He's awesome. Yeah. He was one of our Inner Circle guides last year, and he did something on vibrational astrology, and it was amazing. Okay, so Julie, I want to address this because she has another really good question. And I'm sure that there's other people out here who feel the same way. Julie says, I'm just nervous that I'm still not going to be able to truly read someone's chart accurately by the end of the course because I've been studying by myself for years and had a professional do mine with me. I understand the houses and the planets, but I still can't pinpoint my exact career. And if I can't do that for myself after trying to decode my chart for years, I don't know how I will be able to do it in 10 weeks. Also, the astrologer that did mine is actually well known, and even she couldn't tell me what my career should be, just that I should be working for myself. I have no planets in my 10th house. Sorry for the long statement. No worries, Julie. I think this is a great question. Donna, can you address this?
Well, first of all, everyone has no planets in some house in their chart because even if you add the modern planets, there's 10 planets and 12 houses. So by definition, something's going to be empty, but that's not the best way to, so that was never the intended way to look at how different areas of your life express themselves. And that's one of the benefits of sitting down and going step by step from the beginning, because then you realize, oh, wait, there's house rulers. There's all kinds of other things that go into answering these questions. So I've never had anyone leave one of my classes without some rudimentary knowledge, at least to know how to approach the questions. And yes, different charts are going to express themselves a little differently, and some people are going to be a little more open-ended than others, but you will, that's the whole point of this course, is to have a step-by-step process. If you have a question, what's my ideal work in the world? There is a step 1, look here, find this. Step 2, look here, find that. And you go through the steps to come up with a very concrete answer. Not an answer that you have to guess about. Like, I mean, there's all kinds of different astrology, and if you want to talk about past lives and things, that's fine. But that is something that I can't prove one way or the other. I want to help you get really concrete answers that you can see in your physical world so that you have instant verification that you're on the right track. And astrology should be at least that detailed so that you can see it happening all around us. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you, Donna. And Julie, if you saw her decode my chart last week, that was one of the questions that I brought, and she just gave this completely detailed explanation, not just by what planet was in the 10th house for me. And so, and obviously which exact career, if because, running an online astrology brand didn't even exist like 10 years ago. It would have been impossible for an astrologer to say, oh, you're meant to run an online astrology brand. But she's able to give all the details of the energy, of the type of work, of the type of connections that I need to thrive, of the different areas where I need to feel fulfilled in order for it to be completely fulfilling for me. So anyways, I hope that helps. All right. Elise wants to know, will lots and Time Lords be covered?
I am going to put lots. No, actually, the last few weeks of class, we're going to give you an overview of some of these extra pieces that people want to put in, like fixed stars and lots and stuff like that. Time Lords is a technique that traditional astrology uses for forecasting. It's very much like using dashas in Vedic astrology. It's a great tool, but someday we'll probably have a level 2 of this course, and we'll put all the relationship stuff and all the transits and the 2 chart things, and I would put the Time Lords in that course. But we are going to do all the essential dignities in this course, all 5 of them if you have any traditional knowledge whatsoever. So that means rulerships, exaltations, triplicities, bounds, and decans, because those are the basics. You need to have all those really grounded so that you can do the Time Lord systems. So I'm going to get you set up, because you're really you're reading the future. Be good in an astrology course. I'm going to get people all set up so that when the discussion about Time Lords gets introduced, you will not be confused.
Fantastic. Thank you for that, Donna. Thanks for all these great questions, everybody. If you would like to enroll, enrollment is open through tomorrow at midnight Pacific time. The link to join is in the chat and also in the video, in the description above this video. Okay, so Hillary, we're finally getting to the question that I wanted to ask you like 20 minutes ago, which is, you're a holistic health practitioner. How are you incorporating astrology into your work?
Okay, so it's like basically being able to see the inner workings and to understand. I use astrology to understand where the strong points and the weak points are. And if especially a weak point is being under siege, sort of, I can use different techniques like giving a herb or a crystal or a meditation, or simply doing an exercise, or choosing a day to do a ritual that will strengthen that planet that is being besieged in that moment, sort of. That's how I use it. I look at the chart and see what needs help in that moment. And then actually even the client helps, and the client usually steps in and said, yes, that's how I usually feel. And that's when you have the confirmation that things are working. So astrology is like having an X-ray of the client without the harmful rays, in a way. And it helps a lot. It helps a lot, even the imagery that one brings to it, because we connect to imagery a lot. And if that imagery, then you can bring it to other things in life that have the same signature, and the client can do it, then the self-healing can start. They are anchored in real life experience. So they have their own talisman, which can be as simple as take the water, put it in the first rays of the sun in the morning, and then drink it. And that's the ritual of doing it. And you link it with something in their chart, then it helps them go forward.
Mm. So how long have you been using astrology in your holistic health practice?
About 3 years.
And have you noticed a difference from the clients? Are they expressing appreciation for the new integration?
Yes, especially when I change type of astrology.
Okay. So when you went from like the more modern to traditional?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
It helped me a lot when I've, through the Cosmic Blueprint, I've understood there are dignities and abilities, and that was mind-opening. And it made sense in certain diseases and certain dis-ease of the person. And some things we have them, we can't really change them. We can help to walk with them, being able to practice them better. I mean, it's nothing, it's like having blue eyes and black eyes. I mean, that's it. If you have blue eyes, then you have to put the sunglasses when there is a lot of sun outside. It's just knowing how you have to what precautions you need to take. And the abilities and dignities have helped me a lot to know that. And they make sense. That for me, it brings character to the planets. It brings astrology to life. That's it. Okay. It's not plain. It's not every Mars is the same. Not every Mars in Gemini is the same. It where it's placed and how it meets other planets and how it meets people. It's different.
Yes. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Hilary. It's really nice to see how you're using it in very practical, tangible ways. Also, just for those of you out there, Donna is going to be giving us the foundation that we need to be able to go into any branch of astrology that we want to later. So if you do want to study modern astrology later, it's even great to start here. If you want to go to Vedic or medical or vibrational, I mentioned earlier. Even we have our inner circle guide for this lunar cycle is Monique Larink, who's a diamond astrologer. Whichever path you want to go down, this is going to give you that really solid foundation. Or we've been talking about the trunk of the tree so that you can go to any branch that you want to later. Martina would like to know, is there a limit to the number of students that can enroll? Martina, this is the beautiful thing for me about the time that we live in with technology. We are able, from a capacity standpoint, to have as many students as want to join us. We are very keen on making sure that the experience is still intimate and that you have that personalized attention, that you feel that you're a part of something intimate. So we work very, very hard, both in our private communities, with our team, in interacting and engaging with you to make sure that you feel that you are a part of something. We think of all the different groups that we have within Astrology Hub as family. So you won't feel like you're lost in the sea. We're anticipating around anywhere between 350 and 400 students for the class. We don't know exactly yet, but that's looking relatively likely. So I hope that answers your question. Beth Ann would like to know, what day is the class scheduled for each week? Donna, can you go through the schedule?
The week by week schedule or
just like Sunday, Wednesday, Sunday, Wednesday?
Yeah.
The time.
Yeah. Oh, the time is on Sundays, it's 1 p.m. Pacific time. So that's 4 p.m. Eastern time. And on Wednesdays, it's 3 p.m. Pacific time. And so that's 7 p.m. Eastern time.
Okay. All right. And of course, everything's recorded. So if you can't make the sessions live, you will get a recording within 24 hours of the live broadcast. Okay. Julie wants to know, Donna, you'll be using whole house charts, right?
Yes and no. I teach beginners in whole sign charts because it's easier for beginners to start in whole sign charts. All the numbers make nice, pretty map. But in the class that we talk about the houses, I'm going to introduce the different kinds of house systems, how they relate to the actual sky, to help you decide which kinds answer which kinds of questions. So I am not opposed to any house systems. I want you to be empowered to make the decision for yourself of why you're using something, rather than sort of getting stuck with well, my teacher told me, so it works for me, and that's what I'm going to use. I want you to be able to think about it. And that's why we start the very, very first class grounding you in the physical sky. Because sometimes astrologers are fighting about things and they don't realize we're all under the same sky. They're fighting over how we set up the map, not the actual sky. And once you understand that and you can use it, it gets a lot easier to make these kinds of choices for yourself. So I'm going to use equal houses, I'm going to use whole sign, I'm going to use Placidus when we get around to that. But for the beginning, whole sign is just, I'm lazy and it's easier.
Well, and they've been studying this for a couple decades to find out which system is the best for beginners, what helps them get that foundation, what helps them understand the best. And starting with whole sign is what they've found over and over and over with hundreds and hundreds of students. If you start there, then it makes everything else make sense as you continue down your astrological path.
Yeah, this is the course that has been tested out at Kepler College and the International Academy of Astrology for the last 15 years or so. And those colleges are special because they're the first time we've really had people from all different kinds of astrology having to teach in the same physical location. So we knew the beginner students were going to go and they were going to learn Vedic astrology from one professor and evolutionary astrology from a different teacher at the school. And they needed to have a course that it didn't matter where they went, that the core knowledge was available for all those different approaches. And so this is what we're adapting for Astrology Hub, because we have things like the IC, and we have all these different people on AHTV coming in and sharing their perspectives. So we wanted to give you the core knowledge so that you can take the maximum advantage of all the fantastic offerings that Astrology Hub has to give you.
Okay, awesome. I was just responding to Ludwina. You asked if it started already. Do you mean has Decode Your Cosmic Blueprint started already? Because if that's your question, no, it has not. It starts on Sunday, March 25th. Tomorrow's the last day to enroll for class, though. So I don't know if you meant is the course starting or has this broadcast started, because this broadcast has been going for about an hour. So I wanted to ask our friends and former students of Donna's who are here with us tonight for Hillary in Rome. It is nighttime. And actually, Denise, it's starting to get nighttime for everybody. I wanted to ask you what you would say to anyone out there who is kind of on the fence and wondering if this is right for them. What would you say to them? If you were sitting across the table and having a cup of tea or a glass of wine, whatever it is, what would you say to them? Denise, you want to start?
I would encourage them to take the class simply because of how well the classes are put together. It will cover everything. Donna is an amazing teacher. It's a 10-week class. I think that I can't think of a reason not to take it. If you're interested, if people are here because they're interested and they want to learn more about astrology, then why not make that investment? It's really not a significant amount of money for the amount of knowledge and information that you will get. You get to look at it later when it's all done. You can, like Amanda was saying, you can copy the things to look at. Looks like there's all kinds of handouts and materials and things that you can go through. It's very hands-on. I can't think of a reason, if you're interested in this, to not do it. So I would highly recommend it. Highly.
Thank you. All right, how about you, Hillary?
Do it. If you really need to understand astrology as a down-to-earth practice, as something that is not tedious and you have to learn it by heart, if you want to go to the basics of astrology, the roots of astrology, how the language started, then take this course. Because it's simple to follow. Donna, it's even funny with her anecdotes. You ask a question, you'll be going round, but you understand later why she said that. It's like the old school philosophy. You ask a question, you have a book to read, but it's worth it. It gives astrology a sense of being. And I think that's the end of it, because it's the basics. And as you said, Amanda, then people can choose if to be Vedic, traditional, modern, or whatever. But at least you understand what you have in your hands. You're understanding the grammar. You're understanding the planets, what they represent. That's the very basics. If you don't understand them, then all the rest will just be a muddle, one on top of the other, and you'll never be fluid. And then you never make it. Never make it yours. Then you can't put your voice in astrology. You just be repeating what other people said before you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I want to just let you know, both of you, Hillary and Denise, you have been so wonderfully helpful tonight. Thank you so much. If you would like to go, you can. If you would like to stay, you can. There are a few more questions that are coming in, so we're going to stay. But if you need to go, because I'm sensitive of the fact that it's very late at night for you, Hillary, and I know it's already past your bedtime. So, all right.
Okay.
So either way, you can either leave meeting or stay. You're welcome to stay for as long as. All right. Laura has a question. She says, "How long will the online classes be on Sunday and Wednesday? 1 hour, 2 hours?" We're 1.5 hours on Sunday and 1 hour on Wednesday. Correct, Donna? I don't want to misspeak. Yeah. So 1.5 hours on Sundays and 1 hour on Wednesdays. And people ask a lot, how many hours is it going to take me per week to become solid and fluent in my chart reading? And Donna's estimating about, including the sessions. So between the sessions, it's going to be 2.5 hours a week. She's anticipating between 3 and 5 hours a week total for you to walk away from this class and feel really, really strong in your ability to read a chart and answer questions for yourself and for others. Anything you want to add for that, Donna?
So a couple of people have asked me the difference between the classes that I just did, the first round of this class and this one. And the biggest thing we realized, because I did it in 18 hours, we've doubled the time of class hours, because we recognize that, I mean, astrology is a language. And while I can teach you the grammar of the language in a very efficient way, at the end of the day, we all need practice and practice and more practice. You can't become fluent in a language if you're not practiced in speaking the language. And so we added a lot more time and practical exercises to give you that grounding to be able to begin to speak astrologically, so to speak.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Okay. Let's see. I just want to ask this question because I think it's cute and funny, and I want to see what you say to it, Donna. Abby, who is a very active part of our inner circle and our community in general, she would like to know, why is it snowing in North Carolina at 46 degrees today? She's asking you, Donna.
Do you really want to know an answer to that? If it's snowing, that means that the temperature above the earth is cold enough to be able to form ice crystals. And they're hitting the ground before they actually melt. They won't stick, though.
All right. Thank you.
There you go.
Okay.
Get an answer.
All right. Any other questions from the audience? We will stay on as long as you have questions. Enrollment is still open through tomorrow at midnight. I'm just scanning here to see if there's any other questions from you all. Is there anything else that you, our friends and students, Denise and Hillary, would like to leave the audience with? Anything else you'd like to add?
If we would like to add something else?
Yeah. If there's anything else you'd like to add, I don't know if there is. If not, that's totally okay. But
yeah, I keep on stressing do the course.
Oh, you're awesome.
Do it because it's worth it. Really, it's worth it. I've learned astrology with different astrologers, and all of them gave something to my astrology. But what Donna gave was the fluency that I don't need to turn to books to interpret a chart. And that's the best thing ever, the best gift ever you can get from a course. You don't need a book at the end of these things. Obviously, you have to do your part. You have to study, you have to do the exercises, you have to throw yourself in it and just risk. And I think, as Donna said, there are more hours now where you can risk with other people, and in the Facebook group, you just risk and put your ideas there. So it's practicing, and it's worth it. Do it.
All right. Thank you so much. Donna, is there anything that you wanted to add before we sign off?
Well, I am so excited to start on this journey. I think you mentioned earlier, the energy as we are waiting to get started is just palpable. I'm so honored to be able to lead this group of students. It's just, again, how can you say when you have a dream come true? What words do you use to describe that? And put those in the blank as I beam and be giddy and happy.
And all of that translates into the way that you show up for class and in your teaching style. I'm already blown away, and I've helped create this thing, but I'm in the group and I'm seeing that, oh, Donna created an additional Stellarium software training, a 3-part training. that's like super detailed and makes it easy for us to use the Stellarium software. It's like, that wasn't even included in the course. I haven't told one person about it because I didn't even know you were doing it. But that's because Donna brings this, she goes above and beyond and blows us all away. So excited to be on this journey with all of you. Denise and Hillary, you've been such a pleasure to have on today. You're welcome back anytime. That was so fun. I love that. That's our first time bringing students on. So I've totally enjoyed that. I hope you all did too.
Yes.
And I want to thank all of you for tuning in. If you still have questions, please do not hesitate to email us at support@astrologyhub.com. Enrollment, again, is open through midnight tomorrow. The link to join is in the chat and in the description above this video. Would love to see you in class starting on Sunday. And it's just great to be able to be here with all of you now. Whether you join us or not, thank you so much for making astrology a part of your life. And thank you for being a part of the Astrology Hub community. We'll see you next time. Take care.